Hello everyone and welcome back to Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. So today we're going to be reviewing the latest release from the Remus Repeal Reserve series. This is their batch 5. Now this one comes in at 100 proof, and the mash bill on this one consists of 9% of a 2005 bourbon, which was a 21% rye, a 5% 2006 bourbon that was a 36% rye, 19% 2006 bourbon, which was a 21% rye, a 13% 2008 bourbon that was a 21% rye, and finally a 54% 2008 bourbon that was a 36% rye. So again, as you can see, a lot of high rye mash bills in this one. This actually has the oldest bourbon in it out of all the past Remus releases. Very, very excited to get into this one. I have heard some great things about it, guys. So without further ado, let's go. All right, guys, welcome back. So as most of you know, in the Remus collection, it is, their bourbon is from Indiana. It is MGP bourbon. It is their high rye mash bill. Now, as you can see, this one is unopened. However, I did receive a bottle that was cracked and did leak a bit, so I emptied it out into here. So this is that is my open Remus, and this is my sealed Remus, guys. So let's go ahead and get into the color really quick. I mean, this is a fairly light color. Again, light gold color. Very nice legs on this one, though. I will say this is very oily. It smells great too. Just even when you pour it, it smells great. Let's go ahead and get into the nose, guys. Yeah. So first thing I get. A lot of just caramel richness. A lot of caramel richness. A lot of like an orange zest to it too. Almost reminds me a little bit of like a blood orange. There is some nuttiness to it a little bit further into the glass. Almost like maybe like a hazelnut. It's not very, it's not really nutty, but there's definitely that nutty influence in there, and it's more along the lines of like a hazelnut, walnut maybe. Really rich caramel on the nose. A lot of orange caramel. And again, in those high rye MGP bourbons, you are going to get a lot of those citrus notes on the nose and on the palate. Slightly oaky. Again, there is some pretty old bourbon in here. 15, 16 years. It wasn't a very high percentage, but you're still going to get that. You're still going to have some of that influence. Yeah, beautiful nose, guys. Let's get into the palate. Cheers. Yeah, so the way that those oils cover the glass, right now, that's how it's covering my palate. Very mouth-watering. Coats the palate very, very well. Oily, buttery. Got a lot of sweet oak off that first sip on the front of the palate. Surprisingly enough, I didn't get a lot of rye spice on that initial sip. There's a little bit of spiciness in there on the middle of the palate. Medium to long finish. Some nice like a little bit of a strawberry note there on that first sip. But very oily, still really kind of coating the palate. Some sweet oak, a little bit of rye spice there in the middle. A little bit of strawberry, like a berry, towards the back end of it. Let's get into the second sip, guys. Man. All right, so that sip was very different. That was my first sip of the day. So this one really, really changed on the palate. Like a chocolate fudge, really thick, dense chocolate, covering the front to the middle of the palate. Rye spices are still there, kind of sitting on the middle of the palate though, not anything really crazy. Nice, like a little bit of like a drizzled of like an orange, like sitting on there with like a chocolate. Really, really nice front, middle of the palate. Finish is still kind of lingering on. A lot of like vanilla kind of that kind of evolves into the finish now. I didn't get so much vanilla on the front or middle of the palate. It's more along the finish. A lot of like really like rich, like a rich vanilla actually. This is really, really good. Really good. Let's get into the last sip, guys. Cheers. I'll tell you, these 100 proofers are just so easy to drink. All right, so, wow. All right, so to say this is definitely something that has changed from every sip, from the first, second to the third sip. I'm getting a little bit of toffee sweetness on the front. Rye spices are still there along the middle. That fudge, there is a chocolate fudge note that is on the front to the middle of the palate. That is just amazing. That berry note that I picked up is still there, but that is slowly starting to kind of fade away. It's very, very faint. Still there along the finish with that vanilla, really rich vanilla into the finish. And I just feel that just linger on and on and on. Maybe a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of citrus on the sides. You know, I was actually hoping to pick up a little more citrus, like a little more orange in there than I am, but you know, that could be something that evolves a little bit further down the road as you continue to sip on this. But yeah, I mean, just the oils from this are just sitting all over the palate. Very, very easy to drink, buttery. Again, chocolate fudge on the front. Rye spices that are sitting in the middle. That strawberry and like really rich vanilla that flow into the finish. A little bit of orange, like drizzle in there. Maybe a hint of black pepper, that spicy black pepper that flows into the finish. Thoughts on this? This is a fantastic bourbon. It really, you know, this one for me kind of hits. It hits everything that I want in a bourbon. A little bit of spiciness. You get some fruitiness in there, a nice long finish. Just, and the flavors are dense. You know, it's a buttery mouthfeel. This is a fantastic bourbon right here. For those of you who have not had any of the Remus, I think I've had 2, 3, and 5. I wasn't able to try the first one or the fourth one, I believe. This one, in my opinion, puts the ones that I have tried to shame. This is just so buttery and oily. The flavors are just so rich, robust. And what I do like about it, while I do like consistency in my bourbons, I do still like for them to evolve. But I just want them to stay consistent at the same time. But the evolving flavors in here, this is something I'd really like to, again, continue to sit down with and try to pick up notes, because I feel like this is the type of bourbon that's going to give you that. There's a lot of high rye in here, so you're gonna have a lot of different flavors to play off of. There's some older bourbon in here, so you're picking up some of those darker ones as well. I didn't pick up too much darkness on this one. Maybe a little bit that fudge chocolate was probably the darkest note that I picked up on here. Overall thoughts though, fantastic bourbon from Remus. Again, MGP guys, excellent stuff right here. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. I want to send a big thank you over to Joe Anninger and Christopher David for looking out for me with getting me a bottle of the Remus. Again, you know, one of them was cracked when I first got it. Leaked a little bit, but I was able to save a good little bit. Actually, almost all of it. Only lost a little bit, but thank you to Joe and Chris for both for helping me out to get me one of these bottles. I really wanted to try it. Again, guys, overall thoughts on this one. Fantastic, beautifully crafted bourbon right here. So if you guys are looking for more reviews like this, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You can also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. And until next time, guys, stay dusty.